Alright. How many of you heard that story before? Yeah. So let me just get this straight, because I want to make sure I understand it. I want to make sure you guys understand it, because I'm not sure I'm following. So Daniel was put in charge. He was a super, like the king thought of him as a super good guy, right? Like that he knew a lot of things, and he was like kind of watching over the kingdom with this guy, right? Or excuse me, with this king. But what happened? Like the other people in authority were getting jealous, or basically what was happening, and they decided we have to do something to get Daniel in trouble, right? So what did they try to do? Like how did they get Daniel in trouble? You guys remember? Yeah, they knew they couldn't attack him for doing anything wrong because he wasn't doing anything wrong. So they got the king to make a law that it was against the law to pray to any god other than him. And so what did Daniel do? What was the first thing he did when he found out there was a law? Yeah, he went home and he prayed. He even opened the windows so everyone could see that he was praying to God. Isn't that amazing? Because it's not just every day that you go home and break a law on purpose, right? No, because we're supposed to follow and obey laws, right? But they were trying to trap him and trick him. Wow, that's pretty amazing. So then what happens next? What do they do next? Does he get in trouble, or do they say, well, it's Daniel, we know Daniel's doing the right thing, so since Daniel's praying, that means we can just all pray? Is that what happened? Oh, that is what happened? Oh, well, what happened? I got kind of confused. Who can tell me? Okay. Yeah, he got arrested, right? Like they came and took him away because he broke this law that he wasn't supposed to be praying. And they're like, guess what your punishment is? You're going to the lion's den. So I'm looking at this and I'm like, well, that's no big deal. And I'm like, wait a minute. Do you think it's really, do you think the lion's den is a cool place to be? Do you think it's like bright? And you think there's like balloons and games to play in the lion's den? No? Do you think it's dark in there? The Bible talks about how dark it's in there, right? And that's not a big deal. But wait, just kidding, because I have to tell you guys a secret. And promise me that you guys are just going to keep this between you and me. Is anybody else afraid of the dark? Oh! So now we're supposed to go, and Daniel's going into the den where it's completely dark, like the darkest pitch black, like scariest dark. Okay, so that's where I was scared. Like already I'm like, I'm going to need someone to hold my hand and like kind of come in the line with me because I would not be able to make it in the dark, right? I would be praying to God so hard to make it light me because I am not afraid of the dark. But so that's not a big deal. Okay, so I'll get over the darkness part. Who here has a pet lion? Who here has a pet lion? I want to know what your pet lion's name is. Okay, who really has a pet lion? Do you have a picture of a pet lion? You guys don't have pet lions. A lion is a cat, right? Why don't we have lions as pets? Because they can hurt you? They're not nice and friendly? Yeah, because the lions can really hurt us, right? So we don't have lions as pets, and they're very. Do you guys know what we call a lion? What they're king of? What are the lions king of? King of the jungle? How many animals do you think are in the jungle? Like a lot, right? Like a gazillion, billion, trillion, right? Yeah, no, so do you think it would be scary to be in the dark with these non-friendly lions, right? What noise do lions make? Do they make a purr like a cat? They roar! Yeah. Yeah, like that. That's scary. Scary lion right there. So not only are you going to be scared of the dark, but you're going to be scared of the lions. So what happens next? What happens when Daniel, listen up, what happens when Daniel goes into the lion's den? What happens? He's praying, right? He knew that the only way that something positive could happen at that point is he stopped, and he prayed to God, and he trusted in God, right? Which is what we're talking about today. So who remembers what happens? What happens when he goes to the lion's den? Do they just eat his arms off and... Listen up. angel closed the mouths of the lions. Just like that. Isn't that amazing? I'm picturing what happened is after the mouths of the lions, like, is it, you guys all have dogs at home, or a lot of you do. Sometimes your dog comes up and like, wants to lay on your lap, so lifts up your arm and just like puts his head on there so you can pet him. I bet Daniel was petting those lions by the end of the night. They were all just kind of huddled together, staying warm, being like pet lions like we were talking about earlier. But isn't that amazing that the angel bring the man lion into Daniel's like friend, like pet for the night? So what happens after that? Who can tell me what happens after that? Yeah, so here's what happens is the king comes back the next morning, opens up the den, sees Daniel's alive, and he's like, well, there is a God, right? And then he threw, like I said, the people that tried to get in trouble, they got thrown in with their families into the lion's den. And guess what happened then? Did those lions play nice with them? No, unfortunately not, right? Okay? So what did we really learn here today about this, right? Like when we have a tough situation, what should we do? Go ahead. Right, and maybe just stop and just focus for a minute. Maybe say a quick prayer and just trust in God, right? I think like I said, can someone give me an example like this? Let's think about when you guys are at school. Can you ever think of a time where they actually did this? Or can they think of a scenario where this would definitely be helpful? Where you can stop, talk to God, and trust in God? Can anyone think of an example? I'm going to start right here. When someone's bullying you, right? So what's the alternative? What's the alternative to that? Because what could you do maybe without, if you don't stop, could you maybe retaliate? You could tell the teacher, right? Yeah, but more importantly, like, if a bully is bullying you, you can immediately react, and maybe the bully is just going to keep bullying you, right? Where if you maybe stop and pray about it and trust in God, maybe you come up with some alternatives. Dude, what else can happen in school? Someone fell down. What did you do? So you stopped, you thought about it, and what did you do? You helped them up, right? Yeah. Very cool. Does anybody else have an example of what happened in school? Right here. You can't remember?
When like your really best friend stops playing with you, and that's like the only friend you have.
Yeah, so here's a serious situation, right? When your best friend is mad at you, or you guys are in a fight, right? If you don't stop and pause and think about it and pray to God about what you should do and trust in God, you might see some really hurtful things at that point where maybe your friend will never talk to you again, right? Yeah, so what did you do? Okay, good job, good example. Anybody, let's do one more. Go ahead.
Somebody dropped a pencil and I picked it up and I just didn't keep working.
Oh, you stopped working? Instead, okay, so what do you think you should have done? Or is that what you picked it up for someone else?
Yeah.
Okay, good job. Does anybody have an example at home, like with your mom and dad or brother and sister? Ooh, Jack, what's an example? Yeah, when you're in a sibling fight at home, I know we all love our brothers and sisters, and I'm sure you guys never fight with them, and you guys always just give hugs and tell them that you love them, but there might be a time where you're in a fight with one of your brothers or sisters, and that'd be a great time to pause and pray to God and trust in Him about what you should do, right? Okay. Well, thanks for all those examples. That was great. That was great. We're going to check out what our Bible memory verses for the week. Okay, let's check it out. suffer for doing right, if that happens, you have God's blessing. Don't be afraid of people who are making you suffer. Don't be worried. And that's out of 1 Peter 3:14, okay? That to get time, we just need to stop and pause and think about what's going on and pray and trust in God, right? Okay? So I want to hear everyone say this as loud as I can. Are you guys ready? I know you're ready. Ready? All right. But you, if that happens, you have God's blessing. Don't be afraid of the people who make you suffer. Don't be worried. 1 Peter 3:14. All right, good job, good job. So make sure you guys are reading that verse for you this week. See if you guys can remember that and bring it back this week, okay? What else do we have to look at? What else do we have to check out? What you gonna do challenge? Thanks for reminding me. Let's check it out. Let's check it out.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
For us to get to know God and trust God more, we have to get closer and closer every single day. Yeah, there's a couple of easy things that you guys can do. You guys can pray whenever you get the chance. Read your Bible, maybe with breakfast or before you go to bed, and come to church on the weekends so that you can celebrate God with other people.
So that's what we want you to do this week. Be doing all those things. Coming to church, reading your Bibles, and praying. Maybe even pick up the Bible and check out the book of Daniel. Now that's what you're going to do this week.
That's what you're gonna do. That's what you're gonna do.
All right, very good, very good. Before we go into small groups, who can tell me the 3 things they should do when they're in a tough situation? 3 things. 3 things. Giovanni. What should you do before you pray? You gotta pause, then we pray to God and trust in God, right? Let's try that again. Let's just all say it. First we pause.